All right, guys, welcome back to the DFW Blueprint. Thanks for the likes, shares, and comments. And this week, we're going to talk about VA home loans. It's one of the most powerful tools you can utilize in the real estate industry. Being a vet myself, if you're a vet living in Texas and you're not utilizing the VA housing benefits, you're leaving something on the table, and it's a very, very powerful tool. And today, we're going to kind of break down what a VA loan is, who's eligible, what's the real benefits behind it, and what most agents never explain to veterans. So today, I might be wearing two hats. I might be wearing the agent hat. I might be wearing the veteran hat. And so you might hear different tonality, but we're going to break it down today and kind of give you a step-by-step guide on the VA home loan. So as a Marine and a Texas real estate agent, I work with veterans, and there's a lot of misinformation that's out there. If there's any lenders out there, correct me if I'm wrong. Not perfect. Never claim to be perfect, but I'm definitely going to get into what it is and who's eligible and why it's so powerful. Key points right now, it's a government-backed loan, similar to a conventional FHA. But there are some differences. It's designed to help veterans and active duty. Let me say that again, and active duty. I've run into a number of active duty service members that didn't know they could utilize it. And I never heard about it. When I was on active duty, you're focused on the mission, focused on your work, focused on training. And no one really sat me down until I was getting ready to get out of the Marine Corps, what it really was. So I walked into a recruiting station and in Mesquite. I talked to Army, Navy, Marine Corps, of course. But some of them, they'd been in for 12, 15 years, had never utilized it. And we'll get into more detail about the wealth of real estate and how you can compound wealth and building a nest egg for yourself. Think about this. I'm not saying in your first contract that you need to buy a house. Living in the barracks is great. Eating chow hall is not so great. But you re-enlist and you move and you think, I'm saving money. I'm looking for a place. I've got BAH for $2,500. I'm going to look for a place to rent for $2,000. And I'm going to save $500 a month. That was the mindset. That's a lot of Marines have, a lot of active duty members have. But if you're in a duty station or a location and you buy a house and every 3 years you go to sell that house, it's going to build equity. Are you going to have as much equity as someone who's lived in their house for 5 to 7 years, which is basically the average when people sell their homes when they get into it? No. But if you think about it like this, maybe you earned, $5,000 to $10,000 a year. Let's call it 7 for easy math for Marines. If I said, can I give you $21,000 to $25,000 every 3 years, would you say no to that? Then you can take that. I know it's zero down payment, but you can take that as a down payment. It's an option if you wanted to, or you can just take it and pocket it. So active duty is one of the sectors that I really believe is going to benefit from listening to some of these benefits here, because you can buy a house and you can sell it every 3 years. You know when you're coming, you know where you're going, and especially if you're coming to the DFW area, I can be that person to really guide you through the process. I've had long distance clients before, some from Colorado, some from New Mexico. But if you're moving into the DFW area, whether it be on recruited assistance or recruiting, or you're just stationed here, I can definitely help you out, and I can break it down for you. And it's one of the best mortgage products that are out there, because it's government backed, government guaranteed. Okay, let me say that again. Government backed and guaranteed. But if you think about it like this, the VA loan, it's not a handout to you. It's a benefit you've earned through your service. And thank you. One of the major benefits, I touched on it, no down payment. You just have to worry about taxes and insurance. So for example, $400,000 home, 20% of that is $80,000, that's not what you have to put down. You can put down 3.5% or 3% or 0% on a VA home loan, right? Conventional FHA, 3.5% normally is the minimum. 20% removes what's called PMI, private mortgage insurance, which adds $200 to $500 a month onto your mortgage payment, unless you drop 20% down. VA, there is no PMI. With the 0% down and no PMI, you're saving a lot of money. Most people, they spend years trying to save for a down payment. Veterans, you already have access to a loan that removes that barrier, and it removes it completely. No PMI. That's huge. That's big. Saving you, again, money on a monthly payment. Private mortgage insurance is what it's called. That alone can save you thousands of dollars over time. There's competitive interest rates. A VA home loan, generally, lenders, this is where you can comment and correct me when I'm wrong, generally have a more competitive interest rate than your normal loans. And so saving money again through there. You got flexible credit guidelines. A lot of times VA home loans will approve buyers with a lower credit score. So if you think you're not ready, I never thought I was ready. I never thought I was ever going to own a home. I made stupid financial decisions when I was in my 20s. And when I moved to Texas, I told myself that by 35, I'm going to own a home. And I did, and I had. But it took me pulling the trigger and taking the chance. And my credit wasn't perfect. I didn't know how much I needed to save and how much I need to put down. But that's where someone like myself can guide you and inform you and get you, support you through the process, because there can be a lot of questions. And sometimes all you need to do is just ask the right person to break it down for you where you understand. But if you feel like you're not ready, you might be ready. You might already be ready to pull the trigger, especially if you do want to own a home. There's multiple uses for the benefit, right? There's a huge misconception out there that you can only use your VA home loan once, or, for your primary. You can use it multiple times. You can use it for multiple properties as long as you have VA entitlement remaining, because there's a cap on how much you can borrow against a VA home loans. I've seen veterans leave this benefit unused for 10 to 15 years because someone told them that they could only use it once. And that's not always true. There's ways where you can use it on multiple properties. And I'll give you an example. If you want to be an investor, if you want to have a rental property, there's ways that you can utilize your VA home loans. Now, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of things, where lenders are probably going to correct me where I'm wrong. So I'm not going to put that information out there, but I do know surface level that you can use it for multiple options. Texas alone has very specific advantage for the VA home loan. You've got veteran land loans, veteran home loans, home improvement loans, and Texas is actually one of the best states in the country for veterans because of the additional programs. It's governed through the Texas Veterans Land Board. You can use that on top of your VA loan, right? There's, some myths that are out there that VA home loans are hard for sellers. Truth is, they close just like any other home. Sellers, when they see a VA home loan, they think there's something different there. Not necessarily the case. They close just like any other loan. You can't compete with a VA offer. The truth is, a strong agent is going to be able to structure any offer on any property and keep you competitive, whether you're a buyer or a seller. A good buyer's agent knows how to position a VA offer so that you are coming out on top. And that would be me. You need perfect credit. Myth number 3. You don't. You don't need perfect credit. I was talking to a gentleman about a month ago, and he had a 700 credit score, and he thought he wasn't ready. It amazes me when people think that they're not ready before they pull the trigger, but they're ready to spend $25,000 a year and not get anything in return. You might as well just give that to me or anybody else, or flush it down the toilet. But before you decide, we're not big and scary, at least I'm not, have a conversation with me about what your goals are, and we can go from there. My advice to veterans, again, this was one of the educational conversations. As you know, I want to have good conversations about real estate, veteran specific. Me being a veteran, it's very, very close to my heart. But if you're a veteran in Texas and you're thinking about buying a home, the first step is not Zillow. Go to the Zillow doom scroll. I understand. I get it. But understand the benefits that you have earned veteran to veteran. That's one thing that I know I can explain. I'm utilizing it right now for me, and there are just so many benefits to it. I will leave you on this. Veterans, active duty service members, you serve the country. These benefits are benefits that you've earned through service, through your service. And just like me, when I joined, I wanted to do something bigger. And this is essentially a benefit to you that you've earned. The least you can do is understand the benefit and take advantage of it. The way you can take advantage of it, contact me, and I'll walk you through the process. If you're a veteran in DFW and you want to understand how the VA home loan works, for your situation, everybody's situation is a little bit differently. Reach out. I'm always happy to help another veteran, especially when you want to navigate this process. Similar to when we were in, you always had somebody to guide you, coach you, and train you. In this realm, that would be me. Any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out. Hope this was helpful. I wanted it to be quick, pocket video, and I look forward to hearing from you.